Eastern suburbs. Red, white, and blue, we're flying high. Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs. Southern skies ignite. From the east our spirits rise. Red, white, blue, our story told. From nothing we rose, made our claim. Eastern pride, we built our name. Stronger now, we never fall. Rooster spirit standing tall. Yeah, come on, feel that pride, let's go. Since the start the legacy lives. Passion, power, the heartbeat gives. Eastern suburbs, Eastern suburbs, red, white, and blue, we're flying high. Sydney Roosters reach the sky. Eastern suburbs, Roosters, get up, feel that pride. Said, fighting with fire, no regrets. Yeah, every tackle, every try, hit hard.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Sydney Roosters Diehards. It is Hainty here, and we are live for your Team List Tuesday reaction as the Sydney Roosters. Hang on. There we go. As the Sydney Roosters. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. As the Sydney Roosters, we're back at home at Allianz Stadium this Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. taking on the Newcastle Knights. It's been about a month, so it's been a long time coming that the Roosters are back home at Allianz for a home game. We've got 3 in a row, technically 3 in a row, because obviously Anzac Day next Saturday is an away game, but it is at Allianz Stadium, followed up by the Broncos at home. So we've technically got 3 home games in a row at Allianz coming up, so really looking forward to be back there at Allianz this Sunday. Obviously, as always, if you aren't familiar, that we'll be going through our team list reaction from the side that was named at 4 o'clock this afternoon. I do want to apologise, though, that we didn't have the team list predictor lineup this week. I did have it filmed. I just had some problems uploading it this morning before I hit the work, so I just couldn't get it out in time for you guys. So I do apologise. Obviously, if you guys seen the Instagram, that you would have seen the predicted lineup. Spoiler alert, not a lot of changes to last week. It was pretty much as close as I can get to a team list predicted lineup. But anyway, we'll go through the team list very, very shortly. If you're new here, thank you for tuning in. If you're new here, like I said, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the Sydney Roosters Diehards and give us a follow on the Instagram for your latest Roosters updates, news, and opinions. We'll get to the live chat surely. G'day, Charlie. Thoughts on Murray Talangi potentially coming to the Roosters? We had a little bit of a discussion about that on when was it? On Sunday night. I like it, but I do like him as a player. I'm just not overly convinced that we are going to get into the Roosters. That's just my initial thoughts at the moment, but it's still early days in that one. We'll know more soon. G'day, Jason. How are you, my friend? Great to have you in here as always. Right, let's get straight into it. Starting off, so we'll go through a little bit of a statement here. The Roosters have named their squad for Sunday's afternoon round 7 clash against the Newcastle Knights at Allianz Stadium. Kickoff is set to be 2 p.m. as the Tricolours return home, looking to build momentum after their win against the Sharks in Perth. Captain James Tedesco once again lead the side from fullback with Daniel Tupou and Martin Wanganisa-Wase named on the wings. Hugo Savala lines up in the centres alongside Rob Toya, continuing their run in the starting side. DC and Sam Walker have been named the halves for round 7. Up front, Nafahu White and Lindsay Collins headline the forward pack with Reece Robson at hooker. Angus Crichton and Siwa Wong take their place on the edges while Victor Radley slots in at lock. bringing the trademark grit and energy through the middle. Connor Watson, Spencer Leniu, Nat Butcher, and Celeste Fiketti has been named on the interchange bench, offering impact across the park. The extended squad includes Cody Ramsey, Tommy Talau, Benai Uelu, Egan Butcher, and Billy Smith. In round 7, the Sydney Roosters will celebrate the junior round, which is a strong focus on families and the next generation of Tri-Coloured fans. A junior skills clinic will take place prior to the gates opening at Upper Kippick, inclusive of junior members to register your child. Oh, that's just the ground. Oh, yeah, the ground there. Yeah. The training fields there. As part of junior round, kids aged 15 and under get in free with paying adult ticket. Up to 2 free junior tickets are available per paying adult. Valid in Category 2 or general admission seating only. Tickets must be purchased online and available until allocations are exhausted. There will be plenty happening across the day, including giveaways and a special lap of the field at halftime for junior clinic participations. Fans encouraged to arrive early and take advantage of the kids combo featuring a stadium dog, small chips, and a water for $14 available for all outlets throughout Allianz Stadium. The Roosters will be looking to make a statement on home soil as they take on the Knights side eager to challenge in round 7. Fans can catch all action live at Allianz Stadium or tune in via broadcast team list as follows. And obviously, we've already breezed through it, but we'll go through it again. James Tedesco at fullback, Daniel Tupou on the wing with Martin Awangani-Tawase, Hugo Savala and Rob Toy in the centres. The halves of Daly Cherry Evans and Sam Walker. The front row of Nafahu White and Lindsay Collins with Reece Robson at hooker. Angus Crichton and C.Y. Wong on the back row with Victor Radley at lock. The bench of Connor Watson, Spencer Leniu, Nat Butcher, Celeste Fiketti, Cody Ramsey, and Tommy Talau. The extended reserves of Benai Uelu, Egan Butcher, and Billy Smith. Coach, of course, is Trent Robinson. We'll quickly run through the Newcastle side. Fletcher Sharp, fullback, Dom Young, and Greg Marzu. Dane Gagai and Fletcher Hunt are the centers. Sando named at 6. Dylan Brown returns for the night, so that's big inclusion for them. Jacob Saifidi and Dre Mooney in the front row with Phoenix Crossan at 9. Thomas Cant and Jeremiah McEwen in the back row with Matt Croker at lock. And the bench players of Harrison Graham, Pasami Solu, Cody Hopwood, Francis Moolita, and the Kyle McCarthy, Peter Hola, and the standard reserves of Tyson Gamble, Elijah Salasa, Lulamona, and James Schiller. The coach, of course, for the Newcastle Knights is Justin Holbrook, who was, of course, the assistant coach of the Roosters for the last few seasons until getting the coaching role at Newcastle last year. For this year, sorry. So right, so there it is, the lineups for this week. Look, I'll be honest with you, not really much to say because it's pretty much as close as full strength as we can get. It's the same team as last week, right? The only change, I haven't named the referees yet. I'm keeping a close eye on that one as well. But obviously the only changes to the lineup is Blake Seep out for Billy Smith. Keep an eye on Billy Smith though. That's the one that's really intrigued me is Billy Smith. Now, obviously, I didn't name Billy Smith in the predicted lineup because obviously there was no real insight or any knowledge around Billy Smith. He was obviously tipped the return to be confirmed with his rehab. It wasn't expecting him to be named. Obviously, it's whether or not they give him every chance for him to play this week. I don't want to get my hopes up. I can't see Billy Smith returning this week. And that's not a bad thing. And I was a bit surprised, to be honest, that we saw Billy Smith named. Pretty much after the game on Saturday, between Saturday and now, I did say it's like Billy Smith doesn't need to rush back from injury. With Hugo Savala doing a great job at left centre on the weekend, gives him more time and gives the club more time to just say, get yourself right first. We all know without a doubt that Billy Smith is the better centre than Hugo Savala, even though Hugo Savala's done a fantastic job so far. But Billy Smith is an out-and-out centre, left centre, right? And that's his position. Obviously, Hugo's covering that position. But having Hugo play so well has allowed Billy Smith to ease back into the side and not rush him back in and, create, another injury hiccup. But obviously, Robbo, with that knowledge, wouldn't have named him unless he's, given every chance for him to play this week. So, obviously, we probably won't get a call till probably Saturday afternoon. They'll have captain's run on Saturday, and that will probably be the final bit of a tick of approval or test that Billy Smith needs to accomplish this week in the lead up to game day. So if that all goes ahead, maybe we might see him into the side some way. But I think it's a long shot. It's great to see him named. I hope it's good that he's be pushing his fitness. But I think it's good though having Hugo Zavala there. There's no at the end of the day, like there's no real bugger's not playing this week, knowing that Hugo Zavala will be there and doing a job for us. So. But yeah, look, Billy Smith will be back in the next few weeks or so, which is great news. Hopefully next week. Yeah, it looks more intentions that it'll be next week. But Robbo's named him in the side this week, which means he'll give him every single opportunity to be fit and available for Sunday. So time will tell. Which will obviously create the next question. Where does Hugo Zavala fit into the side now? With Radley back, Connor Watson at 14. I think he'll be probably on the extended bench in jersey number 19. If Billy Smith's available this week, if he plays this week, probably Hugo will drop back to the 19th man role. Probably I'd say probably Cody Ramsey goes back to New South Wales Cup, and Tommy Talau and Hugo Zavala extended bench. That's probably what I see happening. Bit surprising though, Blake Seep not even named in the side this week, which is a bit of a. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit. Yeah, I don't know about Blake Seep at the moment. I think it's fair to say though that Celestis Fiketti is by far in form out of the two, but with Victor returned, Spencer returned, Watto nailing down the 14. Nat Butcher and Spencer running at the bench. There's just no room for him at the moment. That's not a bad thing. It's not that he's playing bad at all. It's just the fact that Celesti's playing better and he's deserved the spot in the side. So, I think it's and we saw this towards the back end of last year too. Blake Seep was sent back to reserve grade to go back and learn the trade, and we saw a similar thing here. So it's not a bad thing, and obviously Blake Seep will take that all on board, and he'll be fine. But I'm not saying he's out at the club. It's just saying that he's in a little bit behind in the pecking order at the moment. So which is disappointing for him, but hopefully he can go back to New South Wales Cup. And I obviously I didn't see New South Wales Cup last week, so don't know how well he went, and I won't be able to watch him play this week because the Roosters New South Wales Cup are playing at the same time as first grade this weekend, so we have just no idea with Blake Steep. So hopefully he can play well and earn his way back into the team, but a bit disappointing to see him not included in the side this week because that's a bit disappointing. I think he would have been if Billy Smith wasn't available, was named, but so obviously Billy Smith took out that jersey 22 role, and he's been given every chance of previous fitness for Sunday's clash against the Knights. The whole Cowboys, Broncos, and Perth team are coming to the Roosters, Charlie, according to how it is. Any player that is on the market is going to be linked to the Roosters. It's just, there's no point arguing about it. There's no point getting the shits over it. It's just something that is just the narrative, and we've just got to the point where we've just got to put up with it. As much as we, it bloody isn't, it is pretty annoying, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, that's just the narrative that they've set about the Roosters, and anyone off contract, they're going to be linked with us. But Herbie is another one, and especially when forwards are on the market right now, we're trying to go sign forwards. We don't need forwards. And we've just explained about Blake Steep not being in the side. There's so many forwards coming through the ranks that are nowhere near playing first grade yet. They're behind. There's Blake Steep, Egan Butcher not playing. Xavier's the Super League. Sorry, De La Salva he's playing reserve grade. Taylor Lasalu, Max McCarthy. The list goes on with the amount of forwards in our club that are coming through that are just not going to get a run in because of how stacked our forward pack is. So we don't need to sign another forward. The outside backs is one that needs to be our focus at the moment going forward. Obviously, with Marky Mark departing at the end of the year, Tupou, is he going to retire this year? That call is going to be decided in the next couple of weeks or so. Tedesco, he's got another year or two left. So it's all up in the air at the moment. So look, in terms of recruiting and that going forward with outside backs and all that, it all just depends on, what Toops decides to do. And obviously there might be a call coming in the next couple of weeks, whether he plays on or he retires at the end of the year. We have no idea. That's all up on Daniel Tupou and the club to sort out between now and whenever that decision is made. So if Tupou does decide to retire this year, then there's obviously two outside backs to depart. Obviously, we've got Ruben Garrett coming in. We've got the likes of, Talau, Junior Ponga, Tom Rodwell, Ramsey, all these guys in around their ranks. Fullback role, that will be covered by Rex Bassingthwaite when Tedesco retires. That's the way I see it. And obviously Junior Tupou as well. So it's just up in the air at the moment. But, I welcome Murray Talangi and I'll welcome Herbie Farmworth. They're great inclusions if we do get them. That I won't deny that. New South Wales Cup. Let's have a look at the side this week. So for the Roosters New South Wales Cup side, they take on Newcastle 2:45 at Wentworth Park. On Flaherty at fullback, Junior Ponga and Tom Rodwell, Lachlan Duna and Ben Johnson in the centres, Reece Foley, Toby Rodwell, Taylor Lasalu, Jake Elliott, De La Salvata, Blake Steep named at back row, Max McCarthy and Egan Butcher playing New South Wales Cup this week as well. Jackson Allen, Jackson Rahim, Ashton Warwick, Hayden Barton, and Zach Zarafi. So Billy Smith hasn't been named in New South Wales Cup, so that gives obviously the indication. They were just putting him in the extended reserves as backup. He would have been playing Cup this week, but they're going to give Billy Smith every single chance to play this week. So keep an eye on that one as well. But yeah, Blake Steep named in the back row too. So maybe that's something to keep an eye on as well. Obviously, with Angus Crichton departing at the end of this year, is Blake Steep playing in the back row? Is that opening up a spot for him to play on the edge next year? Who knows? I'd probably go for Keddy and Wong and then have Blake Steep off the bench or something like that. As long as I like that Butchers and that. Apparently, Murray's management wanted to sign him there. That's what I heard. Yeah, but the Cowboys are shopping him around, and obviously he's been linked to the Roosters. So who knows? Time will tell. It was only internal bruising, so he should be fine. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't a major injury with Billy Smith, but I think they're just giving him, being on the precaution side and just giving him every chance for him to be right and all that. Also, if Daniel Tupou retires, then there's an easy spot to fill in if Murray resigns. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. So Tupou retires and Murray Talangi comes in left wing with Ruben Garrick on the right. That explains itself. But obviously, we will know more when Tupou does decide his future going forward. Okay, speaking of Daniel Tupou admits he's unsure if the Roosters want to re-sign him for 2027. He insists he would never play for another NRL club, so Super League would be his next option. Would he? Yeah, would. If it retires, it would be a good opportunity to play Super League, he added. Yeah, okay, so they're saying, yeah, and then Murray Talangi poorly offered these services to the Roosters. It is unknown at this stage if the Roosters are interested. Yeah, we won't know for a while. Look, in terms of Daniel Tupou going forward, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Don't be that club to shaft a club legend like Toops. Here's the thing with Daniel Tupou, he's a club legend. You play him until he decides he's done. You don't make that decision for him. He does it himself. That, if Jared, look at Jared and Luke Keary, they wanted to go to the Super League. They didn't want to play for another club. That's fine. I was happy with that. Obviously that's the same with Tupou here. He doesn't want to play for another club. He wants to play either the Roosters or the Super League. But don't force him out. Don't force him to the Super League. Keep Toops as long as he wants. Like, if he wants to go around one more year, he has every right to get a contract extension because of what he has done for this club. And it's not like that he's been slowing down and he's been playing terrible. It's still Daniel Tupou. He's the most humble, most consistent player at this club ever. Probably Toops alongside Orbo. Like, I can't remember the last time Tubes have had a bad game. Name me one time Orbo had a bad game for the Roosters. You get what I'm trying to say here? Like, Daniel Tupou is a guy where you know what you're going to get with him every week. You know what the standard is with Daniel Tupou. He comes out, runs for 200 plus meters each week. You know that's the standard. He scores a try each week. He scores one try 1 week, doesn't the next week. That's what you get with Daniel Tupou, and that's what we all love about Tubes. He's so humble and noble. Everyone loves him. Like, if Tupou and his management go to the club and say, Tubes wants to go around one more year in 2027, the club doesn't even hesitate. The club should not even hesitate and go, you know what? Bang, let's get it done. But don't even, like, obviously, this is just obviously, there hasn't been any contract talks yet or anything like that. This is basically what Tupou feels at the moment. But I just do not want the club to go, thank you for your services. We're not going to renew you next year because we want to bring someone else in, which I get. It's a business, and obviously there's going to be another, there's going to be a spot vacant when Daniel Tupou, after Daniel Tupou. Someone will be playing on the left wing for the Roosters after Daniel Tupou. But when you have a guy that is so good and so consistent, you can develop him. You can develop wingers and all that kind of stuff in the backbench behind the scenes, like we're doing with Rex Bassingwaite. Like, Rex Bassingwaite is not going to force Tedesco out of the club. Rex Bassingwaite is going to learn the trade and do what he needs to do to get NRL standard for when the time comes that Tedesco retires. And then you bring him straight in. That's the same way you do with Tupou. Tupou wants to go on for one more year. You get the guys that you want ready. And then when the day comes that Tupou decides, I've had enough, that's when you bring the next guy in and you transition him out. You don't go transition him out because we want to bring someone else in because he's on the market. You don't do that to a club legend. I'm not saying that they are, but if that's what the reports are, like, obviously this is my feeling about it. You just can't do it. You can't cross that line, especially with a guy like Daniel Tupou. You let him, you let him play till he drops. I think that's what he said last week. He's like, until they drop, until I fall over, until the day I drop, I'll be a Rooster. So, well, who knows? There could be a Tupou decision. It's like, look, I've had what I've, obviously, Tupes is not for accolades, but he's done everything he wanted to achieve with the Roosters, and then he wants to play one more year, in the Super League to finish off like Jared did, like Luke Keary did. That's great. Good on him. Tupou hasn't lost a set. No way he hasn't. No way. How many tries has he scored this year? 6? 5 or 6? He scored 1 against Souths, double against Manly, and a double against. Did he score a double against Manly? Or he just scored 1 against Manly? Sorry, he scored 4 tries. 4 tries in 5 games. Still a pretty good strike rate for a winger of his age. He's fine. Dukes is fine. And Dukes just keeps doing the damn thing. He might play till he's 36 more. And he's in good health too. And like what the club said last week as well, like the club also have looked after Tubes as well. Like, the workload, managing his body, all that kind of stuff, keeping him fit and healthy. The club has have looked after him. Obviously, having a guy like Anthony Minicello still in the club with nutrition and recovery and all that kind of stuff is helping with, players like Tedesco going to play longer than expected. Tubes longer than expected. DCE now, he probably can play for another year as well. So that's just how it comes down to. Mark says if Billy starts, who drops out from the 17? Hugo Savala will probably be the guy. I know that's a controversial one, as much as I love the fluff. But Billy Smith is an out-and-out centre, and that's his position. So if Billy Smith is available, he'll go straight in the left centre, and then probably Hugo to the 18th, 19th man alongside either Ramsey or Tommy Talau. I think that's the way I see it. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but I prefer Lasalo over the bench than Leniu. Leniu is good when he gets fired up, but that doesn't happen a lot. Look, I get your point, but like Spencer's an international rep. He's in your side. Taylor's got like he's still young, right? He's still got plenty of time up his sleeve. And he'll be established first grader for years to come. But right now, like Spencer, you leave Spence where he is, without a doubt. Obviously Spencer's coming back from injury too, so it could be. going forward for sure. Like Taylor Salo in and around the mix, De La Salva, those guys will be stars of the future for years to come. So, but not right now. Not right now for me anyway. What did Lummy tag me today? Is Walker at 6? When he plays direct, takes the line on, and just goes off instant, that's when he looks at his most dangerous, less thinking, more playing, more damage. Not saying that he can't control a game, but it's the best footy actually a 6 where he can just run wild. 6 or 7. I gotta say, I reckon there is going to be a massive. I reckon there could be a world where either Hugo or Toby Rodwell becomes the 7 and Sam Walker as a 6 in years to come. I can see that being a possibility. I can really see that. Look, I'm not ready to pull the pin on this DCE Sam Walker. Like they're starting to improve each week. I can see the signs. So you leave it as it is. You don't need, at the moment it's not broken, so don't fix it. It's not broken. There's still lots of improvement in that combination for sure, but you're seeing the signs of how well they're balancing it out together, in my opinion. One's controlling the left side, one's controlling the right side, and they're not overplaying their hand at all. Maybe Sam Walker, but like Sam Walker's been, he's been, he's impacted in the way that he needs to. So, and I thought his second half was great, Sam Walker. So, it's still early. They've only played 5 games together. Give them that time. So maybe if we get towards later in the year where we need to change it around, make that happen. But for now, leave it as it is because we're 3 wins, 2 losses, so it's working. Still got a lot of improvement. There's still there's hell of improvement to go. But for the time being, like it's fine, and it's doing what it's needed to do early on in the season, in my opinion. Hopefully, Fekete gets more minutes. Yeah, I agree. At the same time, I think same time, I think he's been. I like the role that he's playing too. Like he comes on, plays like 10, 15 minutes, and just gives it his all, and he's explosive. They're 10, 15 explosive minutes as well. You know what I'm saying? Like he is just like like when he came on in the last 15 minutes against the game against the Sharks last week, he was just like he was jamming people. Like he was jamming big boys and running into the line hard. I think that's the role that I reckon Fekete is going to play this year. He's not going to be playing these big minutes and gaining the meters and all that like the Fahu Whites and that. He's just going to be coming out there and just like a Spencer, like come on and in short bursts and stints and leave your mark, make an impact in that time, then come off, get a rest. Like a Spencer role. I think that's perfect for Fekete. I think that he's obviously you want to see him play more minutes, but for the minutes that he's on, like he goes out there and just runs hard, tackles hard. That's all we want him to do. So I think that works out well for him, to be honest. Toops 5 tries so far, 187 all up, 3 behind Slater. He's 3 behind Slater. Yeah. He's 13 from 200. I reckon he gets there this year. He gets to 200. If he plays every game, he's going to be on 3. He's going to be 311, most cap Roosters player of all time. That's going to be a great way to finish. If it is his last year, what a great way to end it. Let's hope. 13 more tries. He's got what? 18 games. Yeah, he can do that. Surely, Toops can get to there for sure. He's just going to stay fit and play every game, and he's going to create both those accolades for sure. Right, folks. Well, that might leave us tonight. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed. Obviously, Teamlist Tuesday. Team's been announced. Looking forward to Sunday's clash against the Knights and Allianz. I will be there this week, so there'll be no watch-along or reaction to the game. I will be at Allianz, so there'll be a match recap and a game day vlog and that, and player ratings video. Probably be out Monday morning sometime and all that, and then I'll be back on the Diehards on Monday evening for, obviously, your weekend wrap-up. Tomorrow, Chook Chat podcast as well. Don't know what else got planned for the rest of the week. Obviously, match preview Saturday, so that's probably what we've got in store for the week, unless any other Roosters news that needs to be brought to my attention. will be on here as well, talking about it as well. Charlie says Tom Rodwell, the tenor boy of the Roosters. No, because Tom Rodwell hasn't played first grade yet. He's still young. He's just like a kid coming through. Like, he's just a kid coming through, so I wouldn't call him a tenor boy of the Roosters because obviously, I mean, it's not it's not because tenor boy's bad. In the future, yeah, maybe, but like, it could be that guy. There could be all possibility that our spine going forward could be a likes of fullback Rex Bassingweight, Sam Walker, Toby Rodwell, and then Hugo Savala at lock. That could be a possibility going forward in the future, and then Reece Robson at 9, if not Benai or Elu. I think that's a pretty good young-looking spine going forward, so who knows. Right, folks, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hit the like button and subscribe if you're new, and give us a follow on the Instagram for latest Roosters updates, news, and opinions. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys tomorrow night for the podcast. Till then, goodbye for now. Up the Chooks.